Well, good morning, everybody. Tucson Joe back here for a great day today. I am out here this morning at Gates Pass. Hope the wind's starting to kick up a little bit, feeling a couple of little sprinkle raindrops. It just rained up here. This is Sunday, July 23rd, 2023. It's a beautiful morning out. Beautiful. Right now, where I'm standing, it can't be more than 83 degrees. And if you can see right behind me, right over here, let me get in frame, right over here, that's Old Tucson Studios. Now, I had originally stopped at A Mountain to start my video. Forgot A Mountain doesn't open till about 10 o'clock in the morning on the weekend, especially Sunday. So I drove up, gates were closed, I was like, okay, let me go over to Gates Pass, I'll start my video there. So I'm here, and it's beautiful. I was driving up, got to about a mile here from where I'm standing right now here at Gates Pass, and the roads, it had just rained probably 10 minutes before I got up here, and you can see the rain right there in the sky behind me. You can see it coming down. Yeah, that just came over here, made the roadway coming up nice and wet, made the air feel good. There's a beautiful, nice, cool breeze blowing. So I'm just gonna wing it today. That's kind of what today's video is just a wing it video. So I'm gonna probably go around Old Tucson area and then back over to A Mountain, maybe down around in Sonoran Desert a little bit, you know, around the Desert Museum. Probably go around there a little bit and just kind of wing it and show you guys a few things. All right, here we go, guys, let's start. So you can see it behind me here. This is just kind of the backdrop of Gates Pass. Kind of set my camera up on the little tripod up on the wall here just so you can see me a little better without me having to hold my phone all the time. But yeah, you just get this cool backdrop behind us here. The wonderful Tucson mountain ranges here. So a lot of the old westerns filmed out at Old Tucson would use the mountain ranges out here for the backdrops, or they'd come out around in the area and film. Now, they would film more down west of where we're at here. North is facing directly behind us. South is where you guys are. East over here. So down in the west, down in the valley, which you saw in my introduction there with the backdrop of Old Tucson, that right there, they would film down in that area as well, down in the desert area. A few examples, you know, if you watch like Rio Bravo, if you watch El Dorado, there's a scene in El Dorado when John Wayne is riding with James Caan through the desert area, and they're weaving in and out of the cacti, and James Caan's telling him about the song El Dorado that his friend used to sing, and the town's named after El Dorado. During that scene, they were filming, I don't know the exact location, but it was down in that valley area, kind of around Old Tucson, and it's just very recognizable to me. Again, I've been out here for 30 years. I've come down in this area many times with my family. When friends come out to visit, we'll bring them down. We'll bring them over here to Gates Pass, down around Old Tucson area, down around the Desert Museum area. And, you know, just spend the day showing them the desert, this wonderful, beautiful desert that is very famous from them old westerns. So enough rambling. I'm gonna jaunt on down to Old Tucson area and around the Desert Museum area and all that. Just give you guys a few clips, show you guys the Sonoran Desert, the beauty of it. I mean, I've got the perfect day as long as this cloud cover can stay in and not storming too much. Hopefully, I can get you guys a pretty decent video today. So just before I leave, I'll show off the area just a little bit from this angle. And that's the road there. You can see how wet it is. Tucson's down in that direction behind those hills there. I pan back over to the right, where I did my intro was down just below this little lookout there. And that overlooks Old Tucson and all that. Now, I've done a video where I've come out here and just kind of walked around, talked a little bit, and had all this in the background, showed it off a bit. Not trying to basically recreate that video, just kind of want to show off Gates Pass again, just a little shorter version this time, you might say. Just show it off in this beauty. Just look at that sky. That's a perfect backdrop. You couldn't ask for better. And as I walked into that little pavilion, you can see the little compass there on the ground. So north was the direction I was pointing there, and then west over on the outside. Now I was about to leave, and then I decided to walk back over here, kind of grab this beautiful, beautiful shot. Now that's Old Tucson right down there. Doesn't look really anything what it did back in the day, just because of after the fire. They really did not build it back the way it used to be. They, back in the day before it burned down, all the streets were real narrow. There's a lot of buildings, a lot of old wooden buildings and stuff. And it was just, the streets were very narrow. We built it. They didn't rebuild as many buildings back, and they left the street a lot wider. So it definitely has a different look and feel to it to this day compared to what it did back in pre-1996 before the fire. But yeah, all right, let me head down there and see if I can get a close-up shot, kind of, maybe in the parking lot or something of it for you guys. So just down the road here from Gates Pass, there's a little scenic pullout you can pull into. The road keeps continuing down here, but I just love this view from this little scenic pullout. So yeah, it's just very, very beautiful over here, and I just love those storm clouds in the background with the rain coming down. You can't ask for much better of a desert landscape view. And just drove down the road just a little bit more. There's plenty of hiking trails out here too, guys. Just kind of show off the map just slightly. No, it's sort of hard to see and everything. You probably, I don't even know the color codes and everything myself, but there's plenty of hiking trails out here. So you guys ever come out, or if you're local and don't know about it, yeah, come out down past Gates Pass, which Gates Pass is, my fingers, right up there. That's where Gates Pass is. Let me zoom in. You can probably see the little, yeah, you can see the little awning up there. Storm clouds looking nice and dark. It's only rained a little bit up here. Hasn't really rained in town or anything that I'm aware of. I don't believe it rained overnight or anything. But it's so beautiful out today. I hope the noise, the birds and the bugs are picking up. That's the desert life right there. Now I'm not going to go walking down the trail too far. I'm just going down just a little bit. It's great views. Love coming out here. It's very nice and peaceful for me. Okay, I'm gonna quit teasing you guys. The next time you see me, I'm gonna try and be in the parking lot of Old Tucson Studios. Hopefully they have the gates open and the parking lot's not blocked off. I don't think it should be. So, you'll see me there. Well guys, here I am, Old Tucson's parking lot. You see the sign right there behind me. Legendary. Now I believe that sign's been redone since I was a kid, obviously. But it's still the old font, the old style there. Very recognizable. Tucson landmark, Old Tucson Studios. I'm gonna flip my camera around now. And you can see there's nobody in the parking lot but me. My car's on its little lonesome over here. Nobody's out here yet this morning. I don't know if they'll be doing tours today. They might. But over there, behind the building, you can see the canopy for the carousel. They still have that out here. I believe it's still the original carousel. Now, they used to have a little Autopia car driving, I don't know exactly what they'd call it. You get in these old-timey 1900 type automobile little things. And it's on a little track, and you'd go around a little section, kind of like Autopia, Disneyland, Disney World, but much smaller. I don't believe they have that anymore. As far as I heard, I believe they took those out, possibly, which kind of saddens me. That was one of my favorite things to do. I remember one of the last times I came out here, I don't even remember how old I was. Probably 13 or so. Wasn't a whole lot of people out here. This was after it burned down. I believe I only came one time after it had actually burned down. I have not been out here since I was probably about 13 years old, which saddens me. It really does. But yeah, I haven't had too much of an opportunity to get out here. I mean, I just haven't taken it. I've had many opportunities come out to nightfall and all that, just never taken it. Now that I'm starting the channel, I'm hoping all that'll change, and I'm hoping once the cooler weather hits, once they actually start reopening with the attractions and everything, I'm hoping to get some decent content in there. Hoping to line up a few things, movie-wise for some films. Now, again, there's not a whole lot that's original here. There still is original buildings and stuff here that weren't touched by the fire. But for the most part, most of the main famous buildings you would see, like on Main Street and all that, and all those old John Wayne Westerns and stuff, all that's pretty much burned down. Back in, I believe it was in 96 when it burned, 96 or 97 when it burned down. I really wish I believe they still might have the blueprints for how they originally had the town. I really kind of wish Old Tucson would do a little more building, put some more buildings in there and make it a little bit bigger like it originally was when I was a kid, and before when I was a kid. Old Tucson's been here since 1939, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. The first film filmed out here was a movie called Arizona with William Holden and Jean Arthur, I believe was the actress's name. Great movie, but they built Old Tucson Studios, the little town for that film. They built it just for that film, and all it was just some old adobe mud hut style buildings, which really represented that time and era that they were making the film about, of Arizona. And some of those buildings are still out here, I believe. And then after that, the rest is kind of what they say, history, I'm just trying to keep out of the wind there. Hopefully the wind's not getting too bad. They kind of say the rest is history there, and the town built up around all those old little buildings. So a lot of those old little buildings you can still see in a lot of those old Western movies, and to this day, a lot of those weren't touched by the fire. I'm very thankful that when the fire happened, it didn't burn down the entire place. Now, if you want more information on the fire, it is online. You can look it up, the Old Tucson Studios fire, and read the official news reports and all of that. But there was a whole lot going on with it. They originally thought the owners possibly had something to do with it for insurance money. That's a load of bunk right there. They lost so much. The owners did when the fire happened, that insurance money couldn't even compete with the price tag, basically. So they really lost money when the place burned down, and they were quickly ruled out as being suspects. They eventually narrowed it down to somebody who was, I guess, for lack of a better word, a big fan of Old Tucson Studios, would come out here a lot, supposedly live somewhere around in the area. Wanted a job out here, they didn't give it to him. I don't want to get all into it because I don't know all the facts. I don't know if he had some mental health issues or anything like that, but they didn't give him the job. And apparently he was a bit of an arsonist, so that may have played a factor in them not giving him a job. I don't know all the details in it. I just know some of the basic facts about it that I'm telling you guys. But eventually I believe they did catch the guy, and he was, I believe, responsible for other fires in the area, other arson fires that happened around that time over in neighborhoods and stuff in the, I can't remember, Tucson West or whatever they call this area. Yeah, so the fire was a sad moment in my life, just because even as a kid, when that happened, I was probably about 9 years old, 10 at the tops, you know. I knew the history out here. I'd already been out here twice. I moved out here when I was 6, so I'd already been out to Old Tucson about twice, seen just about everything they had out here, history-wise, you know, with my parents, who were, you know, they grew up on all the old Western TV shows and films filmed out here. So they were like kids in a candy shop, and I remember that, you know, that's a great memory. I remember seeing Hoss Cartwright, Dan Blocker, who played Hoss Cartwright in Bonanza. He used to wear this big old 10-gallon hat, you know, on the show. They had that old hat in one of the little shop museums, whatever they had on the main street there, in like a shadow case. And I remember seeing that hat. That hat was huge, big old hat. My mom was so impressed by that. She loved Hoss Cartwright off of Bonanza. Just want to shout out my mom for that one. But I remember her reaction. She was just like a little girl in a candy shop to it, you know. Great memory. And I, you know, at that time I was probably about seven, you know, and I still remember that. But Old Tucson Studios, I really wish I could just pay my admission, go inside. The gift shop is open. I'm not going to go in the gift shop today. I'm going to save that for when I actually come back and do, they do a tour here. I think it's like an hour long or whatever. It's a guided tour. They do a tour out here. Today would have been probably a perfect day, but again, I don't know if they're doing the tour today or not. So again, this was just an unplanned video. Decided to come out, and I'm just rambling about Old Tucson and stuff, and I'm enjoying it. You know, I hope you guys are too. If you stuck around the video this far, hit that like button down below. Lets me know you care. So from here, I'm gonna head up the road just a little bit, probably stop off at the Desert Museum Visitor Center or something. And again, this day is just, it's a perfect day. That's why I'm out rambling and talking about nonsense and nothing, just the weather, and having fun doing it. But here we go. Well guys, now I'm up at the Saguaro National Park Visitor Center, the Red Hills Visitor Center. Just kind of gonna walk around a little, show it off. Visitor Center directly behind me here, so if you're coming out and you're gonna see the Desert Museum, come out and see the Saguaro National Park as well. Now the Desert Museum's just a little bit back down the road. It's between here and Old Tucson. So if you keep coming down Kenny Road, which Old Tucson's on, you come down Old Kenny Road, there'll be another road you turn off to. There'll be signs saying, you know, Saguaro National Park, this way you go there. But it's after you pass the Desert Museum, probably another couple of miles after the Desert Museum, mile and a half or two. But yeah, it's been a while since I've been out here too. It's been a while since probably a couple of years since I've been out in the area here. Back in 2020, when everything was, you know, closed down, I had so much free time during the days. I'd come out here, you know, this was in the springtime, not the summertime, obviously, but in the springtime, I'd be coming out in this area about every day, just driving down. There's a little area further down, like I was just saying a couple of minutes ago when I was out of Old Tucson. There's a little area you can drive down to, and it's a walking path, and it's out in the desert, and it's kind of like this here. You're out in the desert, but this right here is next to the visitor center. You can literally just walk down. They got a little path area around the visitor center here. You can walk down and kind of see the desert and all that. You have to pay to go into the actual park area. Visitor center is free. You can come out and walk down the path. And it's not that big of a path, obviously. It's a little path, but you can walk around. And usually when I have friends, family, anybody comes out to Tucson for a visit, this is one of the spots you always bring them to, you know. And it's just really cool. It's really fun. Now, you have to stay on the path out here. And you can see the signs here, area closed. They got signs posted up here. Don't walk out here. Don't walk out here. This is flood area, floodplain. And I'm sure this little walk path, when it's raining really hard and flooding right here, is not open. But you can walk on this little part right down here, but not out here. So they don't want you just like traipsing out into the desert that's not on an actual little path, because this is a park area. So, you know, you gotta preserve it and all that good stuff. So just walking around a little bit, talking to you guys. Nothing really much to say, just enjoying nature. What can I say? All right, I'll stop here. Next time you see me, my plan is, I was gonna drive down to that little area I was just talking about with the walking path, but since I'm already here doing that, you're getting to see the desert with me walking around. I'm gonna head back up to probably a mountain, head up there, get a couple of shots of the city and the overcast, show off a mountain, probably in the video. Out to the visitor center. If you're coming to visit Tucson, come out here. It's very interesting. They have a little film right up here, this window right here. They have the curtain closed, you can see it. But in there, they play just as like maybe 5-10 minutes long. It's a little video they made about the Sonoran Desert, the people that lived in the Sonoran Desert. Now, there are certain times Old Tucson's open. During the summer months like it is now, it's closed down. They do a tour, so you could go on a tour if you wanted to. But don't expect to be doing like attractions and just being able to walk around and all that. Probably till, I believe it's September, somewhere in there. They're going to, I believe, reopen, hopefully. I'm gonna keep my eye on their website and all that. Almost tripped over a rock there. I'm gonna keep my eye on their website and all that, just so I know when they do open. As soon as they open, I'm heading over there and making a video for you guys. Now, I'm definitely gonna try and get out there before they actually open for attractions and stuff, just to do the tour and get a little bit of that on film, on video. But I really just want to go be able to spend a day, several hours, probably not a whole day, but at least 3, 4, maybe 5 hours out there, walking around, not filming the whole thing. It's not gonna be a 5-hour video, obviously. I can't do that, guys. But, you know, put in portions of it, show off what it looks like now, throw in some pictures, or if I can find any clips of some old westerns of how it used to look back in the day, and then, you know, compare it up a little bit, talk about some of the westerns filmed out there. I mean, they were filming westerns out there till it, you know, actually burned down. But most of the last several westerns filmed out there were mainly like a very low budget, or just straight to DVD, straight to video, or, you know, a TV western, like a TNT western or something like that, maybe. But one of the last big budget films filmed out at Old Tucson's was, if I'm not mistaken, the movie Tombstone, yes, filmed at Old Tucson Studios. A good portion of it was, to be honest with you. They also filmed at Mescal Studios, which I plan to go there hopefully soon. Probably gonna wait till monsoon ends for that one, just because that's basically between Tucson and down around, between here and, I can't remember if it's Sonoran or between here and Tombstone. I'm trying to remember the exact location of it. I believe it's between here and Tombstone. That's where they filmed most of the scenes for the town, when they're actually in the town of Tombstone. And most of the interiors, there were a few shots in the film, interior-wise, filmed at Mescal, but most of the interior shots they did for that film. They actually did at the old soundstage they had at Old Tucson Studios, and that was one of the buildings perished as well. But I do remember going into that old soundstage as a kid and seeing it, not really realizing what had just been filmed there probably a year before, year and a half, 2 years at the tops, I would say. Before I visited Old Tucson, they had filmed Tombstone there. So when I see certain parts of Tombstone, they actually filmed certain parts of the town scenes in Old Tucson as well. When I see those scenes, it looks just like it did when I visited Old Tucson, because it was literally filmed right about the time I visited Old Tucson, generally speaking. So that's just a cool memory. I wanted to go over there. So anyway, I'm gonna head up to A Mountain. We'll see you there, guys. Well guys, I was wanting to end my video up on Centennial Peak A Mountain here. Unfortunately, they have it closed down. I was gonna drive up, the gates are still shut. It's only 9 o'clock in the morning, and that's why they don't open till 10. So I'm not gonna wait out that long and just to get up to A Mountain, but they got it closed down right now. So, and again, I don't know if they're gonna be opening it today, because they, along with the gates closed, they have these stanchions, these cones up, preventing anybody from actually just driving up into there. I don't even know if I'm allowed to walk up there, so I'm not gonna risk it and get halfway up, because it's still a long walk from where I'm at. I'm up here just at the entrance, the gate entrance, the park gate entrance. Right over here, you can see the sign behind me. The gate's just right back over here. So yeah, I'm not even gonna try and like walk up or anything, because if you can see here, the distance I would have to walk to get up there. Ugh, I'm not trying to get a workout today. Just trying to enjoy this nice, beautiful weather. Just gonna leave the video here and probably just call it a day. I had a fun time going out, Gates Pass, Old Tucson area, around the desert, Saguaro National Monument area. Just beautiful day out. Just wanted to capture a little bit of it, show some of the beautiful old Pueblo scenery off to you guys, this desert. So yeah, if you guys like the video, hit that like button down below. Also, if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. It means the world to me if you do. It really does. Also comment. Yeah, whatever your favorite part was, or maybe a memory you had of Old Tucson, or anything like that. Just let me know. Likes, comments, subscribe. Let me know you care. Anyway, guys, it's Tucson Joe. I think I'm gonna leave it here with this beautiful background behind me. So hopefully I'll be out this coming week. I'm gonna try and shoot as much content as I can. Hopefully, once the monsoon hits, starts cooling off a little bit, hopefully I'll be able to get out much more often. Hopefully every day. That's my goal, is to get out every day and make a video for you guys. As of right now, it's probably about 2 or 3 times a week tops. Usually Saturday, Sunday, I can get out and make a video. Those are my days off from work. Like I said, I work later in the afternoon, so I do have the morning open. But just right now, it's so hot getting out. Even in the morning time, it's hard to get out and get content made without getting sick or anything like that. So you got to be careful out in the heat. I got to be careful out in the heat. So yeah, well, anyways, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Tucson Joe signing off for a great day today. Hope you guys have a great day, and we'll catch you in the next one.